According to sources within the DoD, while many Americans were glued to their televisions watching the politically charged indictment of ex-President Donald Trump, a very dark and methodical agenda was also taking place.
While everybody was watching the news, two major things took place. Two major things. 4 policies passed. 6 bills passed. I want to talk about one because it affects everybody living in this time of the system of the beast.
Just would like to highlight what you said about the European Chips Act, because it's a very important step to create the physical brain for digitalization and to have it located to a certain extent in Europe. Au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter. Ce sera quand ça? Certainement dans les 10 années à venir. Et d'abord, on va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire wearables, comme on le dit. Et après, on pourrait s'imaginer qu'on les implante dans nos cerveaux ou dans notre peau. Et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe entre notre cerveau et le monde digital. Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique.
I think for the next version of the glasses, one of the things that I'm pretty excited about, I think we'll start getting some consumer neural interfaces soon. I think that's going to be pretty wild. I'm not talking about something that jacks into your brain. I'm talking about something that you wear on your wrist that can basically read neural signals that your brain sends through your nerves to your hand to basically move it in different subtle ways that are maybe not perceptible to people around you. But we're basically able to read those signals and be able to use that to control your glasses or other computing devices. And I think that's going to be pretty wild.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts.
If you had to tell a story for so many years, before anybody ever even figured out how to write it down, and you're telling a story about a civilization that allowed people to put brain implants in them, and then all of a sudden the brain implants were hijacked by machines, and people became just meat zombies, controlled by corporations. That'd be a demonic thing. If a demon tricked human beings, that demon would be like a famous character in books and folklore. But that demon exists, and it's just technology. It just shows itself through this desire for the newest, latest innovations that are going to constantly fuel it becoming more and more powerful. Until one day it tricks you into letting it into its head, like a vampire.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here. The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards, which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden. No cash. At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology. I thought it would be fun, right? The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it will be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
Like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks.
Exactly.
So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrained procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
So the motive becomes control more than money. After you have all the money in the world, what's next?
This kind of surveillance, I mean, you watch the big president, the big leader, gives a speech on television. The television could be monitoring you and knowing whether you're angry or not, just by analyzing the cues, the biological cues coming from your body. So now people are now watching us online, all over the world. This conversation. Now, maybe even right now, the people who are watching us are being watched and analyzed. And you know, the thing is, it's not just you're now watching this. The thing is, we know that you're watching this, and we also know how you feel. Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. You know, when Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped their hands and smiled. Now, how do you know what they really think about Stalin? It's very difficult. But in 10 years, the future Stalins of the 21st century, they could be watching the minds, the brains of all the population all the time. And also, they will have the computing power to analyze all that. Now, you don't need human agents. You don't need human analyzers. You just have a lot of sensors and an AI which analyzes it, and that's it. You have the worst totalitarian regime in history.
Headed toward a one world global government with one massive monstrous leader.
How is the mark of the beast described in the Bible?
People would like to see there are two orders in this world. This is a huge mistake. We need a single global order. So, how do we do it?
So the government comes in and says, I'm going to make it easier for you, but I'm going to need certain requirements of you. I'm going to need you to have a digital ID. That digital ID will be attached to a social credit score. And we're going to give you universal basic income. You no longer have to worry about food or shelter. You'll be taken care of, and now you can pursue your dreams.
Is this the mark of the beast you're speaking of, sir?
I think it is.
Long before we're a cashless society.
This is where I get scared because it's too similar to the mark of the beast. It's too similar to exactly what it says. You won't be able to trade, you won't be able to do anything unless you have the mark.
Many American businesses have already gone cashless as well. They'll pretend it's all about convenience, but really, it's all about control. The emergence of a system for comprehensive control that's so complete that we can barely imagine it.
Countries like India, Estonia, Korea, there's a long list, have taken national steps to provide citizens who wish with a secure form of digital identification that can be presented online. A secure digital ID biometrically synced to your smartphone.
And the list is now getting longer, as every Chinese citizen is being assigned a social credit score, a fluctuating rating based on a range of behaviors. In several big cities in China, including here in Shanghai, the government is even tracking jaywalkers. Cameras record them going through intersections, zero in on their face, and then publicly shame them on nearby video screens.
And few here are willing to criticize it, something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it.
Welcome to your future. A digitally interdependent, hyper-connected, networked world. Throw off the tethers of ordinary reality and join the digitized multitudes ruled by global e-governance. With your very own new world citizen of the People's Federated Republic of the Great Democratic United Global States Incorporated chip card. Just one chip is now a key to every relevant database you are in on Earth. We're taking identification to a technocratic level beyond Aldous Huxley's wildest dreams and George Orwell's nightmares. One chip linked to your unique citizen number connects to all of your relevant societal business, including your passport, your driver's license, and all Federation-required licenses, titles, and registrations, your car, home, and medical insurance, all of your medical records, including your mandatory annual psychological evaluation, your DNA profile, and your prescriptions, your voter registration and history, and your bank account and digital universal basic income credits. But that's not all. Your blockchain-protected New World Citizenship also gives you a digital footprint everywhere you go on the web. From online news sources to all of your social media accounts. Authenticating you online to ensure a safe, peaceful, and secure society where no one can offend anyone else because no one can hide. Continuous, real-time, 24/7 tracking and tracing will ensure a truly peaceful digital utopia for all. No more fear of identity theft or forgetting those pesky passwords, as your digital citizen mark will be biometrically verified through your fingerprints, iris scan, EEG, voice print, and facial map. From Cairo to Rome to Ingolstadt to Paris to Washington to Estonia and Astana. From ocean to ocean to ocean to heck, all of the oceans. Being a digital resident offers you a new concept of freedom to be a global citizen under your borderless digital new world order.
What we know is that at some point all financial centers and all regulated powers will all soon fall under one umbrella. And this control is happening much faster than some may believe, or for that matter even know about.
So we know that at some point, all financial centers, all regulated powers going to fall under one umbrella. You're actually in those days right now. And I want to tell you what that means because as of yesterday, just about every single major corporation that deals with groceries and products for consumer consumption or use has now signed on to this control center, so to speak. And what that means is cash registers are going to be taken out of all these stores. That transition began yesterday. Some stores, as a pilot program, have been running this for since the beginning of the year. And because it ran so well, that makes your cell phone a must. It makes it absolutely imperative. In fact, you can't enter into a store unless you have your cell phone. So we all know what that eventually turns into. The cell phone or some similar device that will allow you to have a scannable code. That's how you're going to go into stores. Everything you pick up from the shelves will have a band on every single shelf. It's almost like a flawless system. Nobody's going to be there to regulate what you get or don't get, because they've also manufactured hundreds of millions of these small tabs that go into the manufacturing facilities, which is why they were changing packaging, and it's already in the packaging.
Essentially, what this means to you is every time you enter one of these companies that have implemented this system into their existing framework will be tracked by your cell phone, allowing the place of business to know who you are the moment you enter and giving them unauthorized access to your banking information.
When you exit that store, the store is going to know what you have. So everything is being retrofitted. So the communication basis between the networks, stores, your code, your personal code, all that is functional right now. Stores are beginning to retrofit, which means that people are going to have a different shopping experience. So we all know that's part of a system that's coming, where everybody will have some sort of unique code to buy and sell, period. It was also announced yesterday that it was confirmed, rather, that we do have a cashless society, that we do have digital currency. The U.S. dollar, by the way, is digital currency.
The United States Federal Reserve is considering the creation of a digital dollar. Cyber currencies have many supporters, yet critics warn they would be a privacy nightmare.
One currency expert claims the removal of cash would push America closer to a totalitarian state.
Just in case you did not know that, that's already digital currency. That came from all the major financial institutions. They have reordered some things, rearranged some things, new policies and paperwork. That's the first thing that happened. And all of this, again, is to get ready for this unilateral system, this global system.
It's the action plan. It's the blueprint, the comprehensive plan that was signed on to by 178 nations plus the Holy See in 1992. It's the United Nations plan, and it's a plan to inventory and control all land, water, plants, minerals, construction, means of production, food, energy, everything on the planet, law enforcement, education, and of course, information and human beings. So this is, a comprehensive plan of action, an inventory and control plan. It's about data sharing. It's about money transferring from the developed nations to the lesser developed nations. And ultimately, it's about destroying your ability to have a voice, destroying your ability to have representative government. It's about changing your government to governance. And the goal, of course, is to transfer power from the global governance system.
So, the USA, NATO, and certain Middle Eastern countries, they're all switching to another system. That's us too. So, in other words, before you purchase anything from any company, it will go through a government checkpoint first. Then it goes to your to the vendors or to whatever store you're buying from. So that means when you buy something from Amazon, when you buy something from Target, one of these stores, it's not going directly to Target first. It's going to go to a central hub. Then it goes to one of those stores. So those are two big elements in place. As of yesterday, all of this was pushed through yesterday. And that's something. So while the world's attention was on President Trump and this fiasco, this thing that they have, and, I tried to tell people gently that, because it's sometimes the world is so real that you actually believe the circumstances. I'll tell you something. First of all, if somebody were in real trouble, there are just certain things that don't take place. Second, you don't bend the law around people. You don't do that. In this case, that's precisely what you see. And for the most part, all it has done is consumed the time of people watching it, right? Now, because everybody here is a believer, these days you have to be very careful. Because several things passed at the exact same time everybody was watching. Right? And it really captured everybody's attention. So much so, they tracked who was watching what. Of course, they can do that. And it was so convenient how they had, 4 or 5 different gatherings where these bills went through. It's very convenient, wouldn't you say? This entire situation with Ukraine is likewise a type of something to draw your attention away from something else. The fires in Canada, for example. And by the way, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just very difficult to communicate certain things that come with consequences, and that will have global consequences in a very short time. Better to be informed than to be lost as far as what's going on, and then you panic, because you shouldn't panic. And although the systems are being set up for the mark of the beast is not here yet. In fact, the mark of the beast is you're going to have to become a citizen. And that will be in conjunction with something that's headed here that they're tracking right now. There is no real-time estimation on when that will be here. But I'll tell you something. You may not have known this, but every single day they're leaking out information. They're trying to get people acquainted to the idea that extraordinary life forms are right here on this earth. They're trying to get everybody to take a second look, because they need the shock and awe with people concerning this UFO topic. In truth, there are lots of captured vehicles or recovered vehicles. So I don't know how many they're going to disclose to everybody else. They also have specimens. They also have a type of partnership, you could say. But the origins are a bit difficult to explain, because they have taught people that the universe is one way that planets are not habitable, right? That nothing is inside the earth, so on and so forth, when in truth, you're going to find that all of this is going to change. And no one's going to care that they were taught these weird things, or people had these conspiracy theories, or lies were told back in the past to suppress what the Bible has always taught people. But now we live in a time where a reintroduction is coming, and a lot of truth is going to trickle out, come forward, and overwhelm just about everybody. It's going to be upsetting to a lot of people, and it's going to cause massive insecurities. And believe me, that's going to work to the advantage of what they're doing, because right now you live in a time where transition's taking place, and this is going to be a forced system. They're not going to ask you, do you want it or not? You're just going to happen to, you're going to wake up one day, go through your routine, and find that everything has changed. A brand new group of experts is coming forward. So you might want to get ready for that. They will have your attention. People will discard sound doctrine. And this is where many people are going to get lost in a vortex of sorts they never saw coming. If you were to find out, and they told you themselves, and they told the whole world, that some of the leaders, right, they come forward, and they tell you straight to your face that they're not really part of the human race. They're part of it, but not part of it. And then they prove it to you. That's going to throw everything off. You're living in those type days, and before you say, well, that's crazy, just remember I said it.
So you've come here to help us?
No, I didn't.
You said you came to save us.
I said I came to save the earth.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. And the shield boys.
The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.